Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bob Council again, and we're going to do video 3 this time on cellular cameras. And this time we're going to talk about Cell Camera 201. So we've talked about your cameras, how to figure out which one to get, AT&T or Verizon or dual SIM. We talked about antennas, batteries, from where you want to be at, what kind of batteries you want, yada, 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 right? So now you need to go out and buy you a camera. So to next video, we're going to do some tests, but before that, you go on the Cellular Camera site. A lot of people out there run a lot of cameras, can answer your questions. Ask, hey guys, what do you want to run? What do you guys run? And you're going to get a lot of opinions and some good opinions, right? So we really value people's opinions and we want them to be honest. We try to kick off anyone there that's just BSing. We want your opinions to be based on facts, not off hearsay or your buddy, just off what you've seen. So anyway, good one. So let's say you bought a camera. So what's the next thing we got to do? Well, you have to download the app. So I'm going to bring you this right. So this is a stealth one I did. And right there on the box, it tells you, right here, it talks about, there's the app right there, right? It's the Command Pro. So if you're a grandpa and you don't know a lot about the internet, go get your grandkid. If you don't have grandkids, maybe, or if they're not around, maybe go across the street and get one of the grandkids or one of the neighbor kids. They'd love to show you how to do this, right? So you got to download. You go to, like for Apple, you go to their Play Store. You download the Command Pro for that one, and everybody else has their own. And the box that you buy your camera will tell you what you need. And you download it. The first thing you do is create an account. You'll need an email. And then you'll need a credit or debit card to pay. And then once you do that, like Stealth, and most of them really simple, the camera has a QR code that you can scan. When you open the app, just add a camera and you add it, right? And then it asks you what your plan you want to do, and then it activates, right? And like all of them are step by step. The best advice I can get is go slow. Do one step, wait till it finishes. It tells you everything you need to do. Go to the next step, next step. Just connecting and activating the SIM card, which they're going to do for you, takes a long time sometimes, depending on what kind of signal you got. And then going to the account and connecting to the account could take a while. Sometimes it could take, on average, I'd say an average is 10 minutes to set up a camera. But once you got it set up, it's plug and play, you're done. So we talked about, okay, so now you got your camera, now you got your app, now you've downloaded it, and now where we're gonna put this camera at, right? Well, before we say where we're gonna put it at, how do you place the camera? If you take a camera and point it to the east, in the morning, the sun's gonna go right at it, and it's gonna take horrible pictures. Not only that, that sun's gonna beat down on that lens, and after time, it's gonna degrade everything, and you're just going to take worse and worse and worse and worse pictures. Same thing if you go to the west. If you go to the west in the evening time, the sun's going to shine right on it. You're going to get horrible pictures. I remember when I went to Cabela's, and a guy there who, really smart guy, he said, man, I have these cameras, and I won't tell you the brand, but he's like, God, this year, before they did great, now they do sucky. I was like, what? And I went out there, and he had it directly pointed to the east. Well, that's why it sucked. That's why we're doing this video. So let's talk about this. In the summertime, in the southern hemisphere, like in Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas, where I do in Missouri, your sun is in the northern hemisphere. So you want to place your camera to the south, if you can. In the fall and winter, it's usually in the southern hemisphere. So you want to place it to the north. Now, if you place it to the north, here's the deal. When you get a northern sleet, rain, snow, it usually comes from the northwest. So if you got it pointed to the north and it's coming there, a lot of times you get ice on your stuff and you don't get pictures for a while. So if you look at the page on the camera, you'll see that how I put a bucket in front of it. You can shield the top of it and keep a lot of that off there. Not only in the winter times that do that, but in the summertime, if it keeps it shaded, it takes a lot better pictures. Your camera don't get really hot. It doesn't take false pictures. It just makes your camera last longer. The sun's not beating down on it. So now, we're going to put it out in the fall. So we want to make sure we point it to the south. The other thing, next thing is, and I kind of have a little thing right here for you. So if this is the tree you put it on, right? And there's your camera. There's your feeder. Do not point the camera straight across. What that's going to do is it's going to go straight out. First of all, it's not going to give you as good as pics, but you're going to get a lot of false pics because it's going to go across all the grass, all the trees that are waving. You go back to this, you'll see that point that thing anywhere from right to the bottom of it to a little bit higher right there, and that's going to hit right there. And so instead of it going out 50 yards, it's going to go out, 30 yards, 40 yards. And remember, your array that senses the pictures is still out here like this. So it's still going to go to the top of the feeder right there if your feeder's like 20 yards. So you're going to get your best pictures that way. You're going to get less false pictures, what we call false pictures, like the grass wavy. Now let's talk about false pictures. So a lot of cameras have, my little pup here is trying to get through here and knock down my camera. I'm sorry, I'll move it. So they're based on movement. So if you got grass waving, right, and taking pictures, a lot of them have what they call sensitivity. So you can go put it to the low, right? And it's going to take less false pictures. In the wintertime, when things are dead, you can put it back up to high and it'll help you out a little bit. Especially when the deer are not moving very fast. It used to be most cameras would use heat and stuff like that, but it's just so hard with heat. So now most of them just use movement. But regardless, some of the tricks you can do, like I said, point it down is one thing. Another thing is sometimes you got to set a camera out and it's just kind of in the sun a lot, right? And no matter what you can't mow the grass behind it and you get a lot of false pictures. What I do is, and I have one of those right now, and it's all the cameras I've ever tried, it gives me a lot of false pics. So what I do is you can either set it where it only takes pictures in the evening or the morning, or what I do is just, if it starts taking false pics, I take it where it'll only take a picture every hour. So then I'll get like 3 false pics that day and that's it. Which today I pay $8 now for 1,200 pics. So 3 a day times a month is 90 pics. So I still get 1,110 pics, right? So it's fine for me. And just because where I do mine, I don't take a ton of pics. I just don't need a ton of pics. So now we know where to place it. We know how to angle it. The next thing I would tell you is a lot of them come with straps. I do not like putting my cameras directly to the tree because then you get moisture right there and insects and everything else. So I like to use those little hooks that, if you look on these cameras, they got the 1/4-20 screw right there, right? And those, you can buy those little hooks that they screw on. You screw them in the tree and they screw on like 3 over $10, like Academy or even Amazon or anything else. And that kind of keeps it off of the tree. Another thing I like to do is on the back of the camera, I like to spray insecticide like Demon WP, especially where I'm at, because a lot of scorpions, and just keeps them off there. Ants just love electronics, and it keeps them off there too. Now, don't spray the lens because they're going to get bad pics. So one of the things I do is, like, every time I go out there, like every 3 months, I'll get some Q-tips and Windex and alcohol, and I'll clean off, all my stuff. So you can kind of see this one's kind of dirty right there right now. And I'll clean them off, and that helps me get a lot better pics, right? So that's pretty cool. So now we know how to set it up. We got it on there. We know the place for the best pics. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about your settings, right? So like stealth comes when you pre-set up, it comes to take the lowest megapixel pic, like at 8 meg, and I don't like that, so I put up high because I got plenty of space. The next thing I like to do is they got it set to take a picture every 5 seconds. Now, if you got regular batteries and you're taking a picture every 5 seconds, that thing is going to take 1,000,000 pictures and you're going to run out of data quick. Now, if you're on a trail and you're not going to have that many pictures, 5 seconds is perfect. If you're on a feeder, I start mine at every 2 minutes, and sometimes I back it off to every 5 minutes. Just, if a deer comes up here to eat, usually he's there for 5 or 10 minutes. So you're going to get more than one picture of him. Another thing, when you see it going like that, if you start getting a lot of pictures, you can always slow it down too. So you might set it at 1 minute or 30 seconds, but you're getting a whole bunch of pictures. These apps, especially Self, they tell you exactly how many pictures you've taken and how many more you got left to take, right? So you can slow it down to every 2, 4, 5 minutes or whatever you need to do. Great information, a great way to do it. Start off with as many pictures as possible, then back it off and figure out what you want to do. Or unlimited plan, $20 a month. Some of those are a little different, and you don't have to worry about it. Do whatever you want. But here's a caveat. You take them every 5 seconds. It's going to run any batteries. Now, if you got lithium and you got a good solar, you could probably put up with it. But now, what if you have a day that's cloudy or something or whatever else, and the cellular signal's not that great? You have all those pictures. It's a recipe for disaster. And I've had it happen to me before. And one of the things Stealth does is they have you can download it instantly, or you can download it every 2 hours or twice a day. They have one called Instant Group, which means it'll continue taking pictures. And once it hasn't taken a picture every rep that you like, you have it on every 30 seconds. So if it's taking a picture every 30 seconds, it's not going to send it to you yet. But then once it stops taking it, then it'll send that group of pictures. So it might take 10, 12 pictures, and it'll send it all at one time, which is pretty cool. Another thing that a lot of them have as well is picture on command. So like on Stealth, you can set it on where you can take picture command or not. Well, why would I not have it on there? Well, if you have it on pictures on command, it's doing two-way communication, and it's using a lot more battery. If you have external batteries like I showed you in the second video, it's fine. Put it on demand all the time. But if you have regular batteries, you might not want to. But I like the fact that it's picture on demand, especially if I'm hog hunting in the summertime. So if I'm going to go up and I know there's hogs hitting at a certain time, and before I walk up, I do the picture on command, and then I know if one's there or not. If one's there, I can sneak up, or and if not, I can just get to my stand. So it's just great information. So those are some pretty good setting stuff there to optimize your battery life. If you have any more questions on the batteries, just in the comments, or I'm going to post this on my page. You can ask some questions. But those are some pretty good things to optimize your batteries, to get things set up and get going. And if you have any more information, let me know. Happy hunting, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.